You've led opposition against the Safety Act. We got your press releases. You're talking about, repealing some parts or amending it. Um, Yet that remains the law of the state.
Mhm.
Beyond just, trying to fit new bills that could possibly and do get blocked in committee in Springfield, what is going to be your specific negotiating strategy with the other side of the aisle or with Governor Pritzker on being able to roll back these detention standards or these things that you've been, rallying against, the Safety Act or the pretrial fairness release? What is it that you're going to take differently to Springfield to be able to really make change when it comes to those laws?
Yeah, one of the things that when I became the leader, and something that's been extremely important to me and several folks on our side of the aisle, is we don't want to be known just as the party of no. We want to be able to offer solutions. And as much as I would like to say that our goal is to, repeal the Safety Act and, hit the top of the counter, that's not going to happen. I find it very interesting how my colleagues on the other side of the aisle say that there's nothing wrong with the Safety Act. And then in the next breath, when you have a woman lit on fire on public transportation in Chicago, then you have the governor saying, well, maybe, there's some changes that you have to be, that has to be made. We already know it wasn't perfect, as there's already been 4 changes made to the Safety Act. One of the things that was extremely important is that we had a working group. We're oftentimes not involved in the Dem working groups under Speaker Welch. So we started our own working group. Our caucus is extremely blessed. We have a combination of folks from the police department, sheriff's department, state's attorney's office, who are very knowledgeable in this area. And I wish would have been involved in the conversations from the beginning, but they weren't. So we've offered solutions. We've written several letters, but the one early recently was a letter to the governor with actually telling him the solutions, because on the TV he was saying, I'm open to ideas. And because we're not often physically at the table, it doesn't mean that we can't offer our solutions. So we filed, oh gosh, over the years, even since the Safety Act has been passed, we have filed legislation. But a lot of that is to strengthen, the home detention. We obviously see there's issues with that, giving the judges more discretion. When you throw a word of reasonable into a bill, reasonable upon whose definition? So I think to really define that is certainly important. There's a ton of different things on the pretrial. One of the ways that the Democrats sold the Safety Act was saying that there was a woman who was just, was in a bad financial situation and went to steal diapers for her child and was put in jail. Now, I'm not saying that may or may not have happened, but it seems like we often legislate for that one thing. And rather looking at a holistic approach. And even during the Safety Act, the Democrats weren't willing to wait until the review was done, the study was done. And I think when we're passing such big pieces of legislation, we do have to take the word of the professional. We have to do more evidence-based legislating rather than, what might be popular in New York or California. So we have several ideas, and it comes through the working group. I think when you're talking about public safety and accountability, these things, are not mutually exclusive. We have to figure out this piece, because today in Illinois, criminals are before victims, and we cannot have that. And we can't have the continued repeat offenders over and over and over again that we're seeing here in Illinois.
And Representative McCombie, you did mention the governor has, been a little bit more open to making changes or amendments to whatever it has been. Has What has been the communication with the other side of the aisle to those propositions that you guys are putting forth? Has there been any talks to really making those changes and getting your side view to the table?
Well, in the House, the chair of the Committee for Judicial Criminal is Representative Justin Slaughter. And although we disagree a lot on politics for sure, he does have a good working relationship with our Republican spokes, Patrick Windhorst. So they have had communications. Like I said, we sent a letter to the governor I think public safety, we will hear in the governor's budget address this week. I hope that he addresses the concerns with that. Even the Chicago sheriff or Cook County sheriff has stated there's some problems that need to be fixed with the Safety Act. And that's what we need to do to be thoughtful legislators. If something goes badly or a program is no longer effective, we have to be willing to admit, you know what, this isn't working the way that we thought it was going to, and let's fix it. You find a lot, especially with them having such a supermajority, 78 in the House, that the mob is really the majority of the folks, which is a progressive caucus, is really demanding that there is no caving. It is fine. It's fine. It's fine. And you've even seen the governor now kind of back out a little bit because he has said, well, let's see what the House brings forward to me to sign. Rather than going to the speaker and to the president of the Senate and saying, okay, we do need some tweaks. You all need to figure it out. I believe he needs to push that more rather than blaming them.